And this is what I got to wake up to this morning. Those pink banners down there are a name of a fairly posh, relatively expensive resort called Baba. So you know I'm a big fan of Baba, and I always say to you, hey, buy more Baba, B-A-B-A. The stock symbol for Alibaba. That was the pier that I was at way down there the other night. And this is basically the beach right here. I just drove down the road a little bit, stayed at my place, and ended up here. Got to go for a little walk and just kind of chill out and relax. And so, yeah, along this beach where there's not that little, where there's not like the resorts or the very large, quite frankly, private homes. There's also actual villas that you can rent on this beach that are very expensive. Well, okay, you're getting like a very large house for like 600 bucks a night, 600 US dollars a night. But I mean, for a family, considering where it is by US prices, it's actually a smoking deal. Some of them weren't smoking deals. Some of them were like $1,000 a night. But again, you know, you're looking at like a 6 or 7 bedroom house. Villa. I mean, I consider a villa to be a tiny, small place, but regardless, this is a pretty nice beach. This is a Natai beach, N-A-T-A-I is the way that I've seen it spelled phonetically. I've also seen it spelled N-A-T-A-I beach. So that's where I am right now. I'm north of the bridge that takes you back into Phuket. And so after a little bit of morning beach in cold weather, by my perspective, meaning it's 75 and it feels like 74, I'm gonna head on out and I'm gonna head down to I'm gonna actually turn the camera on. I love how this ivy just like grows here, especially with the flowers. I'm gonna turn on the I'm gonna throw the camera on the dash, and because I've never been across the bridge that goes into Phuket. And I've always wanted to see what that looks like, and I don't particularly recall if I've ever seen a YouTube video that did that, so I'm gonna do that. And so yeah, with that, I will talk to you guys when I get closer to Phuket. I'm gonna stop at a couple of beaches down there, and yeah, grab breakfast in Kamala Beach, actually, as I head down to my next hotel, my next place of sleep this evening, which is, you know, probably 15 hours from now, which is nice. I got like a full day. I left the place at like 7 a.m. and nobody was awake. I said hello a couple times, but nobody was there even at like 7:10. So I left a little note, put my key, the key inside of the piece of paper that I left for a note, locked up the door, and sent them a message on Facebook. So with any luck, that was enough of an official checkout. So talk to you guys when I get closer to Phuket. I would have to label this GoPro mount on my dash as an example of, Mike, it's time to upgrade to a big boy mount. Meaning I need to go buy a suction cup. And I actually believe that I saw a GoPro store in Jongsilon when I did that video walking through there when there was very little open. I believe on the second floor, as I was leaving, I saw one of the big GoPro logo signs. So I'm gonna head over to Jongsilon, actually on my way south, because probably by the time I get to Jongsilon, it will be open. It opens at 11 a.m., or at least those are the hours the last time I was there. And I'm pretty confident that they haven't extended the hours because of Christmas season. For the holiday season, there's simply not enough people. Sadly, especially for the retailers. Retail is tough, like during the good times, as they say. There are some months, in my experience, I've had very, very good friends that did retail, and I'm talking about retail in malls, specifically for clothing primarily. I worked with a couple of companies, and when sort of people were starting to sell clothes online, and probably the one that I worked for the longest was called houseofstyle.com, and they were out of La Jolla, and I got very versed in expensive jeans. And since then, my favorite jeans are True Religion. But as an aside, but since then I have pretty much not dealt with retail a whole lot. So I'm gonna inch my way out here on this street, and because I simply cannot see to the right, which is oncoming traffic, and I see some lights, but luckily there are no cars, and for the most part people don't drive really fast down this street, which is nice. This is the street that is, as you saw in you know, from driving, and as I showed you here, these pink banners are the Baba Beach Club. And so I looked online. I think it was like about probably looks like it says a day pass there is 5,000 baht, to give you an example of how ridiculous it is. But again, I think they are definitely catering to the far right hand supply of the demand curve, which is if it does not cost an excessive amount of money, then they simply won't spend their money. And arguably those are really the only, not only, those are the majority of the people that are being tourists here right now. Those with a you know, effectively an unlimited supply of money. Not that they're, you know, billionaires, but they just don't really think about it. They're like, oh yeah, a couple $100 a night to stay in a hotel, that's nothing. Which again, you know, if you're in the United States and you're staying somewhere that was less than $100 a night, then you usually respond when your buddy asks you how much the cost there. It's like, it was less than $100 a night, because that's not a lot. Whereas here, that is about, that's just under a week's stay at a lot of the places I'm staying at. And don't forget, I stay at 1-bedroom or studio bungalows right on the beach. And those are $20 to $25 a night. And so anyway, to the right is Pillai Beach. So that was Natai up there, and then this is Pilai. P-I-L-A-I is the phonetical spelling. That's to my right. And while they have signs that point to it, this street up here, I believe, is pretty much the only way to get down there. Most of these resorts that were off to the right, they pretty much Khao Pillai Beach viewpoint. Oh, I tell you what, let's go down there then. Let me not get hit by an oncoming car. Always a good goal. Oh, this is a viewpoint. So this is, let's check out this viewpoint. There's people here, so I won't say a whole lot, but what I will do is park, and then I will get out. And then I will walk to the, and it says there's no parking of cars up there, so I'll park here. I'll walk to this viewpoint, and we'll check it out. How's that sound? Mike, that sounds fantastic. You're so amazing. See, thanks. I appreciate you guys playing along at home. And here we go. Again, not part of the plan, but considering the plan is enjoyment of all things outdoors, this actually works out pretty well. Nice little beach area, little place to sit over there. Yeah, pretty nice, right? This is the Sava Resort, S-A-V-A. Very nice, very manicured, as you can see. Some great sand and a longtail boat in the distance with no muffler. And then it sort of ends over here. Rather than try and pronounce it, I'll go over and show you the documentation. Sorry, Khao. Koh Phuket. Phang. That's how I've heard it pronounced. Pillai Beach. And I'm sure if you can read Thai, you know how to pronounce it from the original documentation. This is sort of very, or not sort of, this is very common Thai beach going type location. There is a platform that is a certain amount of height off the ground, not very high, that people basically come and they put down mats and they sit here all day, and or not all day, they sit here during the day. They usually come with family, they usually bring their own food, and then of course on a busy day there is a way to purchase food from local vendors. Sometimes you have to pay for these. Sometimes you just kind of show up, first come, first serve. You park your car, or usually you park your motorbike wherever you find a spot. But look at all this open, vacant land that is like right here by the beach, you know? And I mean, this is just north of Phuket, which is, quite frankly, equally as gorgeous as Phuket. But again, we're in the province of Phang Nga. Gracie and I stayed in Phang Nga when we stayed at this hot spring and had a really, really great time after I was able to procure a room that was away from the main pool area. And you can interpret that as away from the main density of annoying, loud Chinese people that were at the resort. That, you know what word I bet you don't learn in school in China? Whisper. You probably don't learn it as a noun or a verb, nor do you practice it on a regular basis. And that has been my experience pretty much with groups of Chinese people. And you think I'm generalizing? No, I'm actually being specific. So anyway, I think that was a nice little detour. And again, it was just another view of the beach that I saw coming here, but nonetheless, I like that. I like those little Nissan marches. Let this guy go. And then we get back into the mighty Yaris. And off we go to next beach. One new beach every day, and we are at 2. Not bad, man, not bad. All day long I'll do this. 7:44 in the AM, 16 minutes before 8 o'clock. Now you know what my rear view mirror looks like when I drive forwards. Critical data, pretty much, I'm thinking, for the viewership. All right, I got my Bluetooth on, and that means I am all about the copyright strike, ladies and gentlemen. Soon, the radio station serving the entire planet will be available at the URL bkk.fm. Tell your friends. That is going to be a very fun project. I'm looking forward to that. Let me get a little bit less wind noise. And mute this. This is the bridge that basically brings you into Phuket. And I can see the aerial power that's going on over there on the south and the north, which is kind of neat. Always encouraging. There's a walking bridge slash fishing area over there to the right as I drove in. That's kind of neat. And unclear how you get there. I don't know whether there's no like sort of pull off on this side. Maybe go in the other direction there is. But I don't know, for some reason I've wanted to do this. This is a one-way, actually. The road that goes sort of closer to the water, way over there to the right, that is the one that comes the other direction, leaving. So I am going 80 kilometers an hour right now, and I noticed that there's a whole bunch of flashes actually occurring right now on cameras right above me. And I'm not sure whether that is because they checked my entrance into Phuket or whether they were verifying my speed. Occasionally what you'll do is you'll drive around and you'll see speed limit signs, right? Like you may have just seen that one in the upper left-hand corner. A circle with a 60 in it, obviously 60 kilometers an hour. And then you'll see a picture, usually they're a yellow background, and you'll see a picture of a camera, which I assume means that they are taking your speed and taking your picture as you drive through. And I can only assume that if you go above the speed limit when they take your picture, they send you a speeding ticket in the mail. I'm not quite sure how that works. They keep making note of this thing called Phuket Gateway, which is a few hundred meters. Now it's 200 meters, and now it is 100 meters up on the right. So this is the Phuket Gateway. So I tell you what, I'm going to go into the Phuket Gateway. Even though I really have no, it was right there. It was literally right there. You had to take a right turn at speed. That's hilarious. So of course what I'm going to do, since I know how to drive in Thailand now, I'm going to completely back up the wrong way on a major thoroughfare. And then when I get to the entrance, I am going to have my Thai driver's license at the ready, because I believe with my Thai driver's license, it gives me the ability to back up on the freeway. Okay, here's where I was supposed to take an immediate right. So this is the Phuket Gateway, and I assume it is some degree of tourist attraction, and its benefit is kind of escaping me right now. There's a little bit of a lake there off to the left. There's enormous bus parking. Ooh, there's a walking trail. Ecotone Trail. That's kind of cool. It starts off 419 meters, 960 meters, 550 meters, and it goes all the way to, it looks like pictures of where you can go kayaking. I assume ocean kayaking. Take a look down here. Everything is in Thai with the exception of the word toilet. Thank you very much, Thailand. But isn't this crazy? I mean, again, if it were not, right? I think a lot of us would drive around and experience all this and make statements like, wow, it's as if there's a pandemic or nuclear bomb went off. I think that would probably be more what a lot of people I think would say, because pandemics until this year, I don't know about you, but that was not on my radar. I wasn't like, oh yeah, this could happen. Now again, we're in Asia, so they might be like, oh no, dude, like we've been through SARS, like we're all about it. Anyway, so that was just a little bit of a jaunt somewhere to the Phuket Gateway, ladies and gentlemen. Little opportunity for tourism, never hurts. I wonder how many people go there and take selfies. Only silly Americans, Mike, as it turns out. Actually, all the smart Asians don't bother. Oh, really? Is that so? All right, Phuket is apparently 40 kilometers away, and what that means is that means Phuket town, which I don't really have a desire to go to. Not because it's bad or anything, but there's no beach. If I want to go somewhere inland that has no beach that I want to be entertained by, well, then I go to Bangkok. That bus that just drove by us was the Bus Express from Bangkok to Phuket. I wonder what an express bus, I wonder how long an express bus takes to get to Phuket. Only 12 hours versus 18? Who knows? It's actually quite a bit of traffic this morning, and I know that there's a lane up here that I can use to merge with traffic, but I'm just, you know, I'm in no hurry. I will say, coming up, I do like the archways, let's just call it that basically depict the king, and I really like that for some reason. Oh, a Phuket check. Oh, this is the Phuket checkpoint. I wonder if I'm supposed to put a mask on. That's interesting. I mean, they have this regardless of pandemic. But these guys have, like, does he have a mirror or a dustpan? I'll put on a mask. How's that? Never hurts. Oh, he's looking at cars. He gave me the nod. It says, welcome to Phuket. I put my mask on at the last minute, just in case. He briefly kind of like looked at the undercarriage of the car. I'm not quite sure what that reasoning is. Anyway, I'm coming up and I'm gonna take a right in a little bit. And that's gonna take us, it should take us directly down to the beach. A beach that I've technically already been on, which was the beach where I walked up to the planes, and so therefore I walked up to the airport. This is on the north side of the airport. But what I am gonna do actually is I'm gonna make a U-turn as soon as possible, and then I'm gonna go back, take a left on this road, and that'll take me right down to the beach that I'm gonna be at, or the beach that I want to go to, which is north of the airport. And then that'll be 3 beaches for this morning, dude. Are you kidding me? What lottery did I just win? What sand lottery did I just win? It says do not make a U-turn right here, where this motorbike is making a U-turn. But again, that's okay, because he's a motorbike and he's got a lot less need for real estate to make a U-turn. Look at these medians, guys. I mean, these are manicured bushes. This is great. Kids walking to school over there. I don't know whether, I assume it's cultural. I see packs and packs of like girls and young girls, women and young girls, always walking together. And I do not see that in as much with boys. In Bangkok, I do, actually, now that I think about it. I see more like, you know, groups of boys, school, you know, in their uniforms, right? Walking, what I assume, usually because of the time of day, walking home from school. But for some reason here, it seems like it's a lot more common for the girls to be walking together. And for all I know, that's, well, right, Mike, there's, you know, 65% women and 35% males, who knows? Anyway, I think I know where I'm going, and I've chatted enough, so...
In 600 meters, turn left.
Nada buena. My Khao Beach. My Khao Beach is where we're headed this morning, ladies and gentlemen.